The 1999 Acura Integra LS DC2 was one of the 3 trims available for the Acura Integra. The LS trim for the DC2 was available from 1998 to 2001, available as the medium trim above the RS but below the GSR and the famed Type R. It could be ordered with a keyless entry system, alloy wheels, leather seats, and a CD player. Based on the Honda Integra DC2 series, it was rebadged as an Acura for the United States. The Integra LS appears in Need for Speed Pro Street as part of the Collector's Edition release. The Acura Integra Type R DC2, known as the Honda Integra Type R outside of North America, is a front-wheel drive sports coupe built from 1998 to 2001. It uses a 1.8-liter inline-4 which produces 195 brake horsepower. The Type R was the most expensive and fastest variant of the DC Integra generation. The 2000 Integra Type R appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, 2, and Pro Street. The custom Integra Type R driven by the player in the prologue is referred to as Vortex in-game. Unveiled at the Chicago Auto Show in February 1989, the 1990 Acura NSX NA1 showcases several of Honda's F1 technologies and was the first production car to offer an all-aluminum monocoque body, which was product of extreme testing to increase rigidity. With its body profile based on an F-16 fighter jet, the NSX is powered by a mid-mounted, naturally aspirated 3-liter V6 engine made of aluminum and utilizes Honda's VTEC valve train system. The development codename NSX represented New, Sports Car, and Unknown World, X being the mathematical symbol for an unknown value. It appears in the first Need for Speed game and in No Limits. The 2002 Acura NSX NA2, also known as the Honda NSX outside of North America, is a mid-engine sports car manufactured by Honda and sold in North America under the Acura brand. This NSX received a series of exterior changes, most notably fixed xenon headlights that replaced the pop-up versions of the older models. The 2002 to 2005 produced variant were the final models of the first generation NSX. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Shift, Shift 2 Unleashed, and Need for Speed Edge. While retaining the first generation's mid-engine and V6 configuration, the 2017 Acura NSX NC1 utilizes 3 electric motors to make the car's drivetrain a hybrid all-wheel drive system, and it is known as Sport Hybrid Super Handling All-Wheel Drive. To keep the weight as low as possible, the car was designed to use a chassis made of mostly aluminum, augmented by use of carbon fiber body panels, placing it at a curb weight of 1,725 kilograms. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. In Edge, the NSX is equipped with a set of signature Y-spoke rims. In all other appearances, it is equipped with exclusive interwoven rims. The 2006 Acura RSX DC5, sold as the Honda Integra in Japan, is a sports coupe manufactured and sold by Acura in North America. The base model of the RSX boasts a 2-liter inline-4 K20A3 engine. Production started in 2001 and ended in 2006. The RSX appears in Need for Speed Pro Street as a Tier 1 car. The 2004 Acura RSX Type S DC5 is a sports coupe manufactured by Acura for the North American market. It was initially purchasable with a 200 brake horsepower 2-liter K20A2 inline-4 engine. In 2005, the car received a new K20Z1 engine with a slightly higher power output as well as a facelift that notably forgoes the iconic teardrop styling in the headlamps and taillights. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, Underground 2, Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The Honda Civic CX EJ6, produced from 1996 to 2000, was equipped with a 1.6-liter inline-4 D16Y7 engine, producing 106 horsepower and 103 pound-feet of torque. This engine achieved up to 36 miles per gallon on the highway, and it appears in Need for Speed Pro Street. The Honda Civic Si EM1, produced from 1999 to 2000, was powered by a 1.6-liter inline-4 B16A2 engine, producing 160 horsepower, 111 pound-feet of torque at 7,000 RPM. It came with sport-tuned suspension, stiffer springs, thicker anti-roll bars, performance shocks, and 15-inch alloy wheels. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 1 and Underground 2. The Honda Civic Si FG2, produced from 2006 to 2011, was equipped with a 2-liter inline-4 K20Z3 engine, producing 197 horsepower at 7,800 RPM and 139 pound-feet of torque at 6,100 RPM. This engine featured Honda's iVTEC technology, providing a broad power band and high revving performance. It came exclusively with 6-speed manual transmission, featuring a closed-ratio gearbox and a helical limited-slip differential. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Shift, Shift 2 Unleashed, and Edge. The EK9, introduced in 1997, was the first Honda Civic to carry the Type R badge. It set the standard for future Type R models. It is powered by a 1.6-liter B16B VTEC engine, producing 182 horsepower at 8,200 RPM. Inside, the EK9 had Recaro bucket seats, a titanium shift knob, a red-stitched Momo steering wheel, and red interior accents. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The FK2, launched in 2015, was the first Civic Type R to feature a turbocharged engine. Its 2-liter VTEC turbo engine produces 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, allowing it to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.7 seconds. The FK2 set a new front-wheel drive lap record at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, completing the circuit in 7 minutes and 50 seconds. It appears in Need for Speed Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The FK8 generation of the Civic Type R has left its mark on the front-wheel drive hot hatch market by setting lap records worldwide. The FK8 broke the production front-wheel drive record for Spa, the Nürburgring, Suzuka, Silverstone, Australia's Bend Motorsports Park, and France's Magny-Cours racetrack. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. The 1988 Honda CRX offered a range of efficient engines including the 1.5-liter EW1 producing 76 horsepower and the high-performance 1.6-liter DOHC ZC engine which produced 105 horsepower. The CRX was a two-seater and was praised for its sportiness, simplicity and low cost. It appears in the Need for Speed as a traffic vehicle. The Honda CRX SIR, introduced in 1989, was among the first vehicles to feature Honda's pioneering VTEC technology. Its 1.6-liter B16A engine delivered an impressive 158 horsepower at 7600 RPM and 111 pound-feet of torque at 7000 RPM, showcasing Honda's engineering prowess in small displacement, high-revving engines. It was a Japan-only model, making it rare and sought-after vehicle for car enthusiasts outside of Japan. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits.
CRX のノーマルカー。
真面目に走ったら FF ってのはもう絶対的にアンダーだからね。入り口でふわーっと向きを変えてアクセルオンで前に引っ張り出してやる。これはやっぱり FF の乗り方だろうね、きっと。
FF 車は大きな挙動変化が出やすいが、それを出さずアンダーも出さない走りを目指そう。
The 2010 Honda CR-Z features a hybrid powertrain combining a 1.5-liter iVTEC engine with an electric motor with combined output 122 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque. It achieves impressive fuel economy with an EPA rating of 36 miles per gallon city and 39 miles per gallon highway. The CR-Z appears in Need for Speed Edge. The Honda Integra Type R DC2 was powered by the 1.8-liter B18C5 engine, which produced 195 horsepower at 8,000 RPM. Honda's VTEC system allowed a high redline of 8,400 RPM. It was developed with input from Honda's racing division and was often referred to as a race car for the road. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. The 1992 Honda NSX Type R was a limited production model with only 483 units produced exclusively for the Japanese market, lasting from November 1992 to September 95. It was powered by a 3-liter C30A V6 engine producing 276 horsepower. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The 1987 third-gen Honda Prelude was the first mass-produced car to feature a 4-wheel steering system. This system allowed the rear wheels to turn in conjunction with the front wheels. The 5th-generation Prelude from 1997 to 2001 featured a 2.2-liter H22A engine, producing 200 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. It used active torque transfer system, which distributed torque to the front wheels based on driving conditions. It appears in the Need for Speed. The 2000 Honda S2000 AP1 used a 2-liter F20C inline-4 engine, producing 240 horsepower at 8,300 RPM. This engine set a record for the highest specific output of any naturally aspirated production engine at 120 horsepower per liter. The S2000 revived the Honda S Roadster series, which was absent for 29 years. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Shift, Shift 2 Unleashed, and Edge. The 2003 Honda S2000 AP2 introduced a revised 2.2-liter F22C1, which produced 240 horsepower at 7800 RPM. The suspension system used double wishbones at all four corners and featured a torsion limited slip differential and larger 17-inch wheels. Its 50-50 weight distribution and front midship layout contributed to exceptional handling. It appears in Need for Speed Underground. The 2009 Honda S2000 Ultimate Edition AP2 is a rear-wheel drive roadster using the same 2.2-liter F22C1, producing 239 horsepower and 221 Newton-meters of torque, going 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds and a top speed of 149 miles per hour or 240 kilometers per hour. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits, Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 2004 Infiniti G35 was powered by Nissan's acclaimed VQ35DE 3.5-liter V6 engine, producing 280 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. It is known as the Nissan Skyline 350 GT in Japan. The G35 appears in Need for Speed Underground 2, Carbon, Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, World, Edge, Shift 2 Unleashed, and as a traffic vehicle in Hot Pursuit 2010, The Run, Most Wanted 2012, Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, Hot Pursuit, and Need for Speed Unbound. The 2017 Infiniti Q60S 3.0T Red Sport 400 is powered by a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 engine, producing 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. It features Infiniti's dynamic digital suspension, which adjusts the dampers in real time to provide optimal ride comfort and handling. It appears in Need for Speed Payback, Heat, and Unbound. Like the Q60S, the Infiniti Q60 Red Sport 400 is powered by a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 engine, delivering 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. The 1991 Isuzu Rodeo was designed as a versatile mid-engine SUV. It was offered with a 2.6-liter inline-4, a 3.2-liter V6, and later a 3.5-liter V6, producing around 190 horsepower. It was particularly popular in the United States, where it was sold under the Isuzu brand and also rebadged as the Honda Passport. The Rodeo was one of the first SUVs to offer a built-in child safety seat, which was available as an option in the early 1900s. It appears in the Need for Speed as a traffic vehicle. The 2002 Lexus IS300, also known as the Toyota Altezza in Japan, features a 3-liter inline-6 engine producing 225 horsepower and 300 Nm of torque. It features Lexus' signature spindle grille. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 2, Most Wanted, Carbon, and World.
Let's go! Give me that 2 seconds!
2006 Lexus IS 350 is powered by 3.5-liter V6 engine producing 306 horsepower. It features a sport-tuned suspension with adaptive variable suspension and Lexus Safety System Plus 2.5, which includes features like pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, and all-speed dynamic radar cruise control. The IS 350 comes with Mark Levinson premium surround sound system. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street and World. The 2008 Lexus ISF is powered by a 5-liter V8 engine producing 416 horsepower. The ISF features an 8-speed sport direct-shift automatic transmission with paddle shifters and features a track-tuned suspension with stiffer springs, larger anti-roll bars, and performance dampers. The ISF stands out with its bulging hood, large air intakes, quad exhaust outlets, and unique 19-inch alloy wheels. It appears in Need for Speed Undercover, World, and Shift 2 Unleashed. Unveiled at the 2005 North American International Auto Show, the Lexus LFA concept served as the design inspiration for the production LFA. It showcased the use of advanced materials including carbon fiber reinforced plastic powered by V10 engine. The LFA concept appears in Need for Speed Shift. The 2010 Lexus LFA is powered by a 4.8-liter V10 engine co-developed with Yamaha, producing 552 horsepower and 480 Nm of torque. It can rev up to 9,000 RPM and produces a distinctive high-pitched exhaust note, often compared to a Formula 1 car. 65% of the car's body is made from CFRP. The LFA was developed over a decade with meticulous attention to detail. Only 500 units were produced. It appears in Need for Speed World, Shift 2 Unleashed, The Run, Most Wanted 2012, Most Wanted Mobile, and Rivals. The Mazda Furai debuted at the 2008 North American International Auto Show in Detroit. It features an aerodynamic design inspired by the company's Nagare or flow design language. It was powered by a 3-rotor Wankel engine, producing 450 horsepower running on E100 ethanol fuel. The Furai concept was destroyed during a test drive for Top Gear magazine on August 19, 2008. It caught fire at Ben Waters Sparks, driven by Mark Tissehurst. The Furai concept 2008 appears in Need for Speed Edge. The 2004 Mazda 3 BK quickly became one of Mazda's best-selling models worldwide. By 2006, it had sold over 1 million units globally. It received numerous awards including Car and Driver's Best Car. It was built on the Ford Global C1 platform, shared with the Ford Focus and Volvo S40. It appears in Need for Speed Most Wanted 510 and Carbon. The 2006 Mazda Speed 3 BK featured a turbocharged 2.3-liter DC MZR engine producing 263 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, equipped with a limited slip differential, stiffer springs and dampers, and larger brakes. It appears in Need for Speed Carbon, Carbon Own the City, Pro Street, Undercover, World, and Edge. The 1996 Mazda MX-5 NA, also known as the Miata in North America and Jonas Roadster in Japan, had a curb weight of just 2,100 pounds or 950 kilograms. It was powered by a 1.8-liter engine producing 131 horsepower. One of the most iconic features of the NA MX-5 is its pop-up headlights. It received widespread acclaim and numerous awards, becoming the best-selling two-seater convertible sports car in history, with over 1 million units sold across all generations by 2016. It appears in Need for Speed 2, 3, High Stakes, Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The 1999 Mazda MX-5 NB featured a smoother, more modern styling and removed the pop-up headlights due to pedestrian safety risks. The 1.8-liter engine now produced 142 horsepower. Special editions such as the 10th anniversary edition in 1999 featured a 6-speed manual transmission, built-in shocks, and unique exterior and interior styling elements. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, Underground 2, and Underground Rivals. The 2008 Mazda MX-5 NC used a larger and more powerful 2-liter inline-4 engine producing 167 horsepower. The NC maintained a near-perfect 50-50 weight distribution and introduced the power retractable hardtop in 2006. The 20th anniversary special edition in 2010 featured unique styling elements and commemorative badges. It appears in Need for Speed Shift, World, Shift to Unleash, The Run, and Edge.
Go on.
The 2015 Mazda MX-5 NB introduced Mazda's SkyActiv technology using a 2-liter SkyActiv G engine producing 155 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque. It features Mazda's Kodo design language, characterized by its sleek, flowing lines, and includes advanced safety features such as blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and lane departure warning, making it one of the safest iterations of the MX-5. It received numerous accolades, including the 2016 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year award. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, No Limits, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 1991 Mazda RX-7 FC featured a 13-speed turbocharged rotary engine producing 182 horsepower and 183 pound-feet of torque. It introduced the DTSS or Dynamic Tracking Suspension System, which adjusted the rear suspension geometry to improve cornering stability. The RX-7 FC was well received globally, winning several awards. It appears in Need for Speed World, Shift to Unleash, and Edge. The 1995 RX-7 FD Series 6 featured the 13B REW twin-turbo rotary engine, producing 255 horsepower and 217 pound-feet of torque. It enjoyed significant success in motorsport, including victories in the IMSA, GTU class, and various endurance races. It is also a popular car in pop culture, frequently appearing in racing games, movies, and shows, most famously in Initial D. It appears in the Need for Speed, Underground 1, Underground 2, Underground Rivals, Most Wanted, Carbon, Pro Street, Undercover, World, Shift, Shift to Unleashed, and Edge. The Series 8 RX-7, produced from 1998 to 2002, increased power to 276 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful RX-7 models ever produced. Its combination of performance, design, and rotary engine uniqueness has solidified its status as a classic sports car icon. It appears in Need for Speed Carbon on the City, Undercover, and No Limits. The RX-7 RZ was a limited production model introduced in 1992 with only 350 units produced. It featured upgraded suspension components including Bilstein dampers and stiffer springs, equipped with lightweight BBS wheels, Recaro seats, and a distinctive red and black interior. It appears in Need for Speed World and The Run. The 2002 RX-7 Spirit R was the final and most advanced iteration of the RX-7 FD. Mazda produced 1500 units available in three variants: Type A, Type B, and Type C. Type A is a 2-seater, Type B is a 2+2-seater, and Type C is a 2+2-seater with a 4-speed automatic gearbox. The Spirit R featured upgraded suspension with Bilstein dampers, larger brakes, and lightweight BBS wheels. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The 2004 Mazda RX-8 featured the 1.3-liter Renesis rotary engine, which was more fuel efficient and had lower emissions, producing 238 horsepower. It was praised for its balanced handling thanks to a 50-50 weight distribution and low center of gravity. It received numerous awards for its innovative design, performance, and affordability. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 2, Underground Rivals, Most Wanted 510, Carbon, and Carbon on the City. The 2006 Mazda RX-8 introduced the Shinka edition for the RX-8. Mazda addressed reliability issues with the Renesis rotary engine, making it more durable and less prone to apex seal wear. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, Shift to Unleashed, World, and Edge. The 2009 Mazda RX-8 received a facelift featuring a redesigned front bumper, new headlights, and taillights. It saw improvements to the suspension and chassis, included a sport-tuned suspension, Recaro sport seats, 19-inch wheels, and other upgrades. It appears in Need for Speed World, Hot Pursuit, and Hot Pursuit Remastered. The 2011 RX-8 Spirit R marked the end of RX-8's production and served as a tribute to the rotary engine's legacy. Mazda produced only 2,000 units. The RX-8 Spirit R is highly regarded as one of the best rotary engine cars ever produced. It appears in Need for Speed Unbound. The 1999 Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4 Z15AM, produced from 1990 to 2001, was packed with advanced technology for its time, including all-wheel drive, four-wheel steering, and active aerodynamics, with a front spoiler and rear wing that adjusted at speed. It featured a 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine producing 320 horsepower. It was also sold under Chrysler's Dodge brand as the Dodge Stealth. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 2 and No Limits. The Eclipse GS Spider, produced from 1995 to 2011, is a two-door 2+2 convertible built as a partnership between Mitsubishi and Chrysler as Diamond Star Motors. It was also sold as the Eagle Talon until 1998. It was powered by a 2.4-liter inline-4 engine producing 162 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. It appears in Motor City Online. The Eclipse GST, produced from 1990 to 1999, featured a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine producing 210 horsepower and 214 pound-feet of torque, making it one of the most powerful front-wheel drive sports cars of its time. The GST was equipped with a sport-tuned suspension, enhancing its performance on both city streets and winding roads. It appears in Need for Speed Carbon, Pro Street, and World. The Eclipse GSX, produced from 1990 to 1999, was powered by the same 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, but with upgrades such as limited slip rear differential, upgraded brakes, and sport-tuned suspension, making it a favorite among car enthusiasts and tuners in the automotive community. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, Underground 2, Underground Rivals, No Limits, and Unbound. The Eclipse GT, produced from 2000 to 2012, featured a 3.8-liter V6 engine producing 265 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, and included a sport-tuned suspension, larger brakes, and stability control. It appears in Need for Speed Most Wanted, Most Wanted 510, Carbon, Carbon on the City, Pro Street, Undercover, and World. The 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer ES was powered by a 2-liter inline-4 engine producing 148 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque, providing a balance of performance and fuel efficiency with an EPA rating of 34 miles per gallon on the highway. Known for its affordability, the Lancer ES was priced competitively, making it accessible to a broad range of buyers, particularly first-time car owners and budget-conscious consumers. It appears in Need for Speed Underground. The Lancer Evo 6, produced from 1999 to 2001, was heavily influenced by Mitsubishi's success in the World Rally Championship, with Tommi Mäkinen winning 4 consecutive drivers' titles from 1996 to 1999 in the Evolution series. It featured a larger intercooler, oil cooler, and water sprayer for the intercooler, ensuring optimal engine temperatures during intense driving. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. The Lancer Evolution 8, produced from 2003 to 2005, was the first Evolution model to be officially sold in the United States. It featured Mitsubishi's active central differential, which allowed the driver to select different modes like tarmac, gravel, or snow for optimal traction in various driving conditions. The 2-liter turbocharged 4G63 engine produced 271 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 2, Underground Rivals, Most Wanted 510, Carbon on the City, and World. The 2006 Lancer Evo 9 FQ300, sold in the UK, was powered by a turbocharged 2-liter inline-4 engine producing 305 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque, going 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds. It used Mitsubishi's Super All-Wheel Control system, which included active rear differential, active yaw control, and a front helical limited slip differential, providing exceptional handling and stability. It appears in Need for Speed Shift and Shift 2 Unleashed. Developed by Ralliart, the 2007 Lancer Evo 9 MR FQ360 was powered by a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, producing 366 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful production models in the Evo series. The FQ360 included a carbon fiber front splitter, a vortex generator on the roof, Bilstein shock absorbers, and ABAC springs, including Recaro seats with FQ360 embroidery. It appears in Need for Speed Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The 2006 Lancer Evo 9 MR edition featured a finely tuned 2-liter turbocharged engine with a revised turbocharger and Mitsubishi innovative valve timing electronic control technology, or simply NEFFEX. The MR edition appears on the box art for Need for Speed Carbon. It also appears in Carbon on the City, Pro Street, Undercover, Nitro, World, Need for Speed 2015, and Edge. The Lancer Evolution 10, produced from 2007 to 2016, was built on a completely new platform featuring a more rigid chassis, improving handling and safety. The Evo X MR was powered by a new 2-liter turbocharged 4B11T engine, producing 291 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. It introduced Mitsubishi's twin-clutch SST or Sport Shift transmission, a 6-speed automatic manual transmission. Its interior came with Recaro sport seats and a premium Rockford Fosgate sound system. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, Nitro, World, Hot Pursuit, Shift to Unleashed, The Run, Most Wanted 2012, Most Wanted Mobile, No Limits, Edge, Heat, Hot Pursuit, and Unbound. The 1996 Nissan 180SX Type X S13 was initially powered by the SR20 DET engine, a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 with 202 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. One of the most recognizable features of the 180SX was its pop-up headlights. It became a favorite in a drifting scene due to its balanced chassis, rear-wheel drive layout, and tunability. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, No Limits, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 1998 Nissan 200SX S14 came with the same SR20 DET engine and featured more streamlined and modern styling compared to the S13. The S14 was known by various names including the 200SX in Europe and the Silvia in Japan, with some regional variations in specifications and equipment. It appears in Need for Speed Shift, World, Shift to Unleashed, The Run, and Edge. The 1992 Nissan 240SX S13 was primarily powered by the K824DE naturally aspirated 2.4-liter inline-4 engine, producing 140 horsepower tailored for the North American market. The 240SX gained popularity in the drifting scene in the US, often swapped with turbocharged engines like the SR20 DET or RB25 DET. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, Underground 2, Underground Rivals, Carbon, Carbon on the City, Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, World, Shift to Unleashed, and Edge. The 1989 Nissan 300ZX Z32 featured a twin turbocharged 3-liter V6 producing 300 horsepower, packed with advanced technology for its time, including a multi-link suspension, 4-wheel steering, and electronic climate control. The 300ZX appears in Japan release of the Need for Speed. The 2003 Nissan 350Z was powered by a 3.5-liter V6 engine, the VQ35DE producing 287 horsepower, and introduced the Nismo edition, which included performance enhancements such as a stiffer suspension, aerodynamic body kit, and lightweight components aimed at track enthusiasts. Rachel's 350Z is featured on a box art for Need for Speed Underground 2. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, Underground Rivals, Carbon, Undercover, World, and Heat. The 2006 Nissan 350Z saw an upgrade to the VQ35HR engine, increasing power to 306 horsepower, with a higher redline of 7500 RPM. It received suspension refinements, including updated shock absorbers and springs, and additional features like a premium Bose audio system, Brembo brakes, and a limited slip differential. It appears in Need for Speed Carbon Undercity, Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, Shift 2 Unleashed, Most Wanted 2012, and Edge. The 2008 Nissan 350Z Z33 marked the final production year for the model before being replaced by the 370Z. It continued to utilize the VQ35HR engine and was available in both coupe and convertible body styles. The 350Z was celebrated for its contribution to the Z car legacy, combining performance, style, and affordability. It appears in Need for Speed Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The 2009 Nissan 370Z Z34 featured a 3.7-liter V6 engine, VQ37VHR, producing 332 horsepower. The 370Z introduced the world's first synchronized downshift rev matching system, or the Synchro Rev Match for manual transmissions, which automatically matched engine speed to the next gear for smoother shifts. Compared to the 350Z, it was 4 inches shorter and around 95 pounds lighter. The chassis was reinforced with aluminum subframe, increased body rigidity, and a wider front track, resulting in better stability and cornering performance. It appears in Need for Speed Undercover, Shift, Nitro, World, Hot Pursuit, Shift 2 Unleashed, The Run, Edge, and Hot Pursuit Remastered. The 2013 Nissan 370Z Z34 received a facelift that included new LED daytime running lights and redesigned 18-inch alloy wheels. The Sport package added 19-inch raised forged aluminum wheels, a limited slip differential, and Synchro Rev Match transmission. The 3.7-liter V6 engine remained unchanged, continuing to deliver 332 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. First shown at the 2017 New York Motor Show, the 370Z Heritage Edition was introduced to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Z car lineage. Its unique color options were chicane yellow and magnetic black, with Heritage Edition badging, and on the inside it included custom embroidered seats, special trim pieces, and exclusive color accents. It retained the 3.7-liter V6 engine and appears in Need for Speed Heat and Unbound. The 2015 370Z Nismo featured an upgraded 3.7-liter V6 engine, producing 350 horsepower and 276 pound-feet of torque, with a specially tuned suspension system, including stiffer springs, larger stabilizer bars, and Nismo-specific dampers. Inside, it featured Recaro Sport seats, a Nismo-branded tachometer, and unique interior trim. It appears in Need for Speed Heat and Unbound. The 2015 370Z Nismo featured an upgraded 3.7-liter V6 engine, producing 350 horsepower and 276 pound-feet of torque, with a specially tuned suspension system, including stiffer springs, larger stabilizer bars, and Nismo-specific dampers. Inside, it featured Recaro Sport seats, a Nismo-branded tachometer, and unique interior trim. It appears in Need for Speed Heat and Unbound. The 2010 370Z Roadster Touring offered soft top that could be opened or closed in about 20 seconds, powered by the same 3.7-liter V6 engine as the coupe, producing 332 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. To compensate for the lack of a fixed roof, the 370Z Roadster's chassis was reinforced to maintain rigidity and reduce flex. It appears in Need for Speed World, Hot Pursuit, and Hot Pursuit Remastered. The 1994 Nissan Access was a compact, multi-purpose vehicle designed to offer a blend of a car-like handling with the practicality of a minivan. In Europe and Japan, it is known as the Nissan Prairie. It appears in the Need for Speed as a traffic car.
Is that the fuel injector?
No way! Yeah, right! What the It's Bozzy! Holy sh!
The 2009 Nissan Cube Z12 stood out for its distinctive and quirky design, featuring asymmetrical windows, a wraparound rear window, and a boxy shape that maximized interior space. It featured the lounge sofa seating arrangement and a shack dash topper for added flair. The Cube appears in Need for Speed Nitro. The 1971 Nissan Fairlady 240ZG, also known as the Datsun 240ZG, was sold only in Japan. It was a homologation model produced to comply with FIA regulations for Group 4 racing. 240 stands for the engine displacement, whilst G is an abbreviation for Grande. It featured a 2.4-liter inline-6 engine, L24, producing around 150 horsepower. It was equipped with a distinctive G-nose front end, which included a larger, more aerodynamic nose with integrated headlight covers. It appears in the Need for Speed, World, Shift to Unleashed, The Run, Need for Speed 2015, No Limits, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 2010 Nissan Frontier, also known as the Nissan Navara, has been in production since 1997, making it one of the longest-running models in Nissan's lineup. The latest generation of the Frontier features a new 3.8-liter V6 engine with 310 horsepower and a 9-speed automatic transmission. It appears as a traffic vehicle in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, The Run, Most Wanted 2012, and Hot Pursuit Remastered. The 2007 R35 Nissan GTR was powered by a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V6 VR38DETT engine producing 480 horsepower along with a 6-speed dual-clutch automated manual transmission. Each engine was hand-assembled by a single technician known as Takumi at Nissan's Yokohama plant. It had a drag coefficient of 0.27, going 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds. It is the first four-wheel drive car to have its transmission located at the rear and used Nissan's Atessa ETS all-wheel drive system. This results in a distribution of torque to the rear wheels varying from 50 to 98%, eliminating the previous generation's understeer weakness. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, Nitro, World, Shift to Unleashed, and The Run. The 2013 R35 GTR received an increase in power with the VR38DETT engine now producing 545 horsepower and 463 pound-feet of torque, improving its 0 to 60 miles per hour time to around 2.7 seconds. Improvements were made to the suspension system, including new spring and damper rates and a revised front anti-roll bar. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. The GTR Black Edition offered unique lightweight race-forged aluminum wheels, a carbon fiber rear spoiler, and a special black and red interior with Recaro sport seats. It retained the same 545 horsepower twin-turbo V6 engine. It appears in Need for Speed Rivals and Edge. The 2011 GTR Egoist R35 was a special edition focused on luxury, featuring hand-stitched leather interiors from Seton Company. With a high-end Bose sound system, custom-tuned to the interior acoustics of the Egoist. It retained the same 530 horsepower twin-turbo V6 engine and advanced all-wheel drive system as the standard GTR. The Egoist was hand-built to order, with each car taking over 2 weeks to complete, making it one of the most exclusive and personalized GTR variants ever produced. It appears in Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 and Most Wanted Mobile. The 2010 Nissan GTR GT1 was developed for the FIA GT1 World Championship, featuring a race-tuned version of the VR38 DETT engine, producing around 600 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, using a naturally aspirated V8 powertrain. Unlike the road-going GTR, the GT1 was rear-wheel drive as per GT1 regulations. It appears on the box art of Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. First revealed at the 2013 Tokyo Motor Show, the 2017 Nissan GTR Nismo featured the upgraded VR38 DETT engine, producing 481 pound-feet of torque, thanks to larger turbochargers borrowed from Nissan's GT3 race car. It included a more aggressive aerodynamic package, increasing downforce by up to 100 kilograms. It set a Nürburgring lap time of 7 minutes and 8 seconds, making it one of the fastest production cars to lap the famous circuit. It appears in Need for Speed Heat and Unbound. The 2015 GTR Premium is a 2+2 sports car that featured a refined version of the VR38 DETT engine with improved fuel injectors and ignition timing for better response. The suspension was retuned with revised spring rates and new dampers, an improved braking system with larger rotors and new brake pads. It appears in Need for Speed 2015 and Edge. Revealed at the 2016 New York International Auto Show, the 2017 GTR Premium saw a power boost to 565 horsepower and 467 pound-feet of torque, achieved through better engine tuning and the use of turbochargers from the GTR Nismo. The interior was significantly upgraded with a redesigned dashboard, fewer physical buttons, and a new 8-inch touchscreen. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The Nissan GTR Proto was a concept car unveiled at the 2005 Tokyo Motor Show, showcasing the design direction and technological advancements that would define the R35 GTR. It introduced a signature multi-dimensional styling, angular headlights, and distinctive rear end, which became key features of the production GTR. It appears on the box art of Need for Speed Pro Street. The 2009 Nissan GT-R Spec V was a limited production variant with only 40 units produced. It is 60 kilograms lighter than the base GT-R and is equipped with black rims, altered brakes and suspension, featuring a modified version of the VR38 DETT engine, retaining the standard 485 horsepower but with improved mid-range torque due to the use of high-gear boost control. It appears in Need for Speed Shift, World, Hot Pursuit, Shift 2 Unleashed, The Run, and Hot Pursuit Remastered. The Nissan Leaf, introduced in 2010, was one of the first mass-market electric vehicles powered by an 80 kilowatt electric motor and a 24 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack. By 2017, the Leaf had become the world's best-selling electric car with over 300,000 units sold globally, demonstrating its significant impact on the EV market. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits as a traffic car. The fourth generation Nissan Quest, produced from 2011 to 2017, was a minivan based on the Nissan D platform. The Quest appears in Need for Speed No Limits as a traffic car.
The 2012 Nissan Quest coddles its passengers in convenience, style, and safety.
The 1997 Nissan R390 GT1 LM Calisonic Zanavi No. 23 was developed to compete in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Only 2 road-going cars were built to meet GT1 class regulations, making it one of the rarest and most sought-after Nissan models. Designed by Yutaka Hagiwara, the R390 featured a carbon fiber monocoque chassis and powered by a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V8 engine producing around 550 horsepower in road trim and over 640 horsepower in race trim based on Nissan's VRH35Z engine. Out of the 3 R390s that participated in the 1997 24 Hours of Le Mans, only the number 23 car finished the race. In the 1998 Le Mans race, the R390 GT1 achieved a 3rd place finish overall. The R390 appears in Japan release of the Need for Speed and No Limits. The 2004 Sentra SCR Spec V was the high-performance version of the Sentra, featuring a 2.5-liter QR25DE inline-4 engine producing 175 horsepower and 180 pound-feet of torque, equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, Underground 2, and Underground Rivals. The S15 Silvia, produced from 1999 to 2002, was the final iteration of the Silvia line powered by the turbocharged 2-liter SR20 DET inline-4 engine, producing up to 250 horsepower. The Silvia is known for its frequent appearance in drift events thanks to its enormous success in the D1 Grand Prix series. It appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, World, Shift 2 Unleashed, No Limits, Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 1996 Silvia Case Aero was a high-performance version of the S14 Silvia, featuring the turbocharged SR20 DET engine, producing around 217 horsepower. The Aero package came with a Zenki front bumper with dual projector headlights, integrated fog lights, side skirts, a rear spoiler, and a sport-tuned suspension with stiffer springs and dampers. It appears in Japan release of the Need for Speed. The 1998 Silvia Case Aero was part of the Koki S14 generation, featuring sharper headlights, a more aggressive front bumper, and redesigned taillights, fitted with a revised SR20 DET notch-top engine, a single-gravity T28 turbocharger, and a limited-slip differential. It appears in Need for Speed Unbound. The C110 Skyline 2000 GTR, produced from 1973 to 1974, earned the nickname Ken Mary from a popular advertising campaign featuring a couple named Ken and Mary. It was powered by the 2-liter S20 inline-6 engine. It appears in Japan release of the Need for Speed. The KPG C10 Skyline 2000 GTR, produced from 1969 to 1972, is affectionately known as the Hako Suka, combining the Japanese words for box, Hako, and skyline, Suka. It dominated Japanese motorsport with an impressive 50 race victories in its career, solidifying its status as a racing legend and setting the foundation for the GTR legacy. It was powered by the 2-liter S20 inline-6 engine, producing 158 horsepower and 130 pound-feet of torque, derived from the Prince R380 racing car. It appears in Need for Speed Shift, World, Shift 2 Unleashed, The Run, No Limits, Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 1969 Skyline PGC-10 was the first car to bear the GTR badge, marking the beginning of Nissan's high-performance Skyline series. It made its race debut and won at the JAF GP in May 1969. Since then, it kept winning until it attained 52 victories before the Nissan Works team withdrew in October 1972. It appears in Japan release of the Need for Speed. The R31 Skyline 2000 GTS-R was produced as a homologation special in 1987 to qualify for Group A touring car racing, with 800 units made. It was based on Nissan's 7th generation 7th SU or 7th Sukai Rain Skyline model. It featured the RB20 DET-R engine, producing 207 horsepower. The GTS-R achieved considerable success in Group A racing, particularly in the Japanese Touring Car Championship, the 1988 European Touring Car Championship, and came 6th for the NME team in the 1988 24 Heures de Francorchamps at Spa. It appears in Japan release of the Need for Speed. The R32 Skyline GTR, produced from 1989 to 1994, earned the nickname Godzilla from the Australian car press due to its dominating performance and Japanese origin. It was powered by the legendary 2.6-liter RB26 DETT twin-turbo inline-6 engine, producing 276 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, although actual output was often higher due to Japan's gentleman's agreement. The R32 introduced the Atessa ETS all-wheel drive system and super high-cast four-wheel steering, providing exceptional handling and stability. It dominated Group A racing in the JTCC, where it won every race it entered from 1990 to 93, solidifying its legendary status. It appears in Japan release of the Need for Speed World, Shift 2 Unleashed, The Run, No Limits, and Edge. The R33 Skyline GTR, produced from 1995 to 98, featured an improved chassis and increased rigidity, resulting in better handling and ride comfort compared to the R32. It retained the RB26 DETT engine, but had better aerodynamics with a lower drag coefficient and enhanced downforce. In 1995, the Skyline GTR R33 became the first production car to lap the Nürburgring Nordschleife in under 8 minutes, setting a time of 7 minutes and 59 seconds. It appears in the box art of Japan release of the Need for Speed. The R34 Skyline GTR, produced from 1999 to 2002, continued to use the RB26 DETT engine, with a more responsive twin-turbo setup and improved cooling. It introduced a multifunction display on the dashboard, providing real-time information on a car's performance metrics such as turbo boost pressure and G-forces. The R34 Skyline GTR appears in Need for Speed Nitro. The 2005 Skyline GTR Nismo Z-Tune R34 is the final model of the R34, which was developed by Nissan's Nismo division to celebrate their 20th anniversary. Only 20 units were produced. These cars were built on used Skyline GTR V-Spec 2 models with less than 18,000 miles or 30,000 kilometers of mileage. The Z-Tune featured a heavily modified version of the RB26 DETT engine known as the Z2, producing 493 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque, equipped with Nismo GT500 spec turbochargers, reinforced chassis components, and upgraded suspension. It appears in Need for Speed World. The 1993 R32 V-Spec or Victory specification came equipped with an upgraded suspension system and Brembo brakes as standard. It achieved remarkable success in the FIA Group A touring car category, particularly at the Nürburgring. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The 1999 Skyline R34 V-Spec featured improved aerodynamics, including a larger adjustable rear spoiler, front splitter, and rear diffuser. The V-Spec R34 is depicted on the cover art of the Japanese release of Need for Speed High Stakes, in Need for Speed Underground as Eddie's car, in Need for Speed Payback as Tyler's car, and it also appears in Underground 2, Underground Rivals, Carbon, Carbon on the City, Pro Street, Undercover, World, Shift, Shift to Unleashed, Most Wanted 2012, Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 2000 Skyline GTR V-Spec 2 featured additional aerodynamic improvements, including a carbon fiber hood with a NACA duct for better cooling and reduced weight. In 2005, Nismo celebrated their 20th anniversary by upgrading 20 second-hand V-Spec 2 models to the Nismo Z-Tune specification. The Skyline V-Spec 2 appears in Need for Speed No Limits. The 1984 RSX Turbo C was the first Skyline to feature a turbocharged engine powered by the 2-liter FJ20ET inline-4 engine producing 190 horsepower. It featured a redesigned front end that gave it the nickname Tekamen, meaning Iron Mask. It appears in the Japan release of the Need for Speed.
Where's your steering wheel? Let's say goodbye to the jack club.
The 1980s Skyline Turbo 2000 GT ES featured a turbocharged version of the L20ET inline-6 engine producing 140 horsepower. It appears in a Japan release of the Need for Speed. The 2011 Nissan Versa, also known as Nissan Tida outside of North America, is a hatchback known for its impressive fuel efficiency, achieving up to 40 miles per gallon on the highway. It appears as a traffic vehicle in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, The Run, Most Wanted, Edge, and Hot Pursuit Remastered. The 2023 RZ34 Nissan Z Performance is powered by a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 engine producing 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque, manufactured in Kaminokawa, Tochigi in Japan. Its design takes elements from previous Z models such as the iconic Z-shaped LED headlights and a retro-inspired rear end, blending heritage with modern aesthetics. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. First shown on September 16, 2020, At the Nissan Pavilion in Yokohama, Japan, the Nissan Z prototype draws heavy inspiration from the original 240Z. The teardrop-shaped headlights, rectangular grille, and long hood blending nostalgia with contemporary styling. It is powered by a twin-turbocharged V6 engine. The Z prototype appears in Need for Speed Unbound. The 1964 Prince Skyline 2000 GT S54B was a compact saloon featuring a 2-liter inline-6 engine. It competed in a GT2 class of the second Japanese Grand Prix with their Skyline GT S54A1. It laid the foundation for future high-performance Skylines, eventually leading to the iconic GTR series. Prince's merger with Nissan in 1966 helped continue the Skyline's evolution under the Nissan brand. It appears in a Japan release of the Need for Speed. The 2014 Scion FRS was a result of a collaboration between Toyota and Subaru. It was sold as a Toyota 86 in other markets and shared its platform with the Subaru BRZ. It was powered by a 2-liter flat-4 boxer engine producing 200 horsepower. The car's design was influenced by the legendary AE86 Toyota Corolla. The Scion FRS appears in Need for Speed 2015. The Scion TC8010 played a key role in establishing the Scion's brand identity as a youth-focused division of Toyota. It has made frequent appearances in motorsport. World Racing uses a highly modified TC as a drag race car, while Team Need for Speed uses a TC as time attack race car. It appears in Need for Speed Shift, World, and Shift 2 Unleashed. The 2014 Subaru BRZ was developed in collaboration with Toyota. It is powered by a 2-liter flat-4 boxer engine producing 200 horsepower. It is produced at Subaru's factory in Gunma, Japan. Worldwide, it is sold as a Toyota GT86 and in North America as the Scion FRS. The BRZ is built on a light rear-wheel drive platform with a low-sitting engine to allow for a low center of gravity. It appears on a box art of Need for Speed 2015. It also appears in No Limits, Payback, Edge, Heat, and Unbound. The 2017 Subaru BRZ is powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated flat-4 engine that produces 205 horsepower. Its lightweight construction, stiff, low center of gravity chassis, and rear-wheel drive layout contribute to its nimble handling and excellent driving dynamics. It appears in Need for Speed Mobile. The 2010 Subaru Cosworth Impreza STI CS400 was a limited edition model with only 75 units produced. It was developed in collaboration with Cosworth, a British engineering company known for its high-performance engines. The CS400 features a 2.5-liter turbocharged flat-4 engine extensively modified by Cosworth to produce 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. It has a bespoke exhaust system, enhanced suspension with ABAC springs and Bilstein dampers, and upgraded brakes with 6-piston calipers. It can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.7 seconds, making it one of the fastest production Subarus ever built. It appears in Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 and Most Wanted Mobile. The 2003 Impreza 2.5 RS was inspired by Subaru's success in the World Rally Championship. It featured rally-inspired styling and was powered by a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated flat-4 engine, producing 165 horsepower and 166 pound-feet of torque. The 2.5 RS is often considered the predecessor to the high-performance WRX and STI models. It appears in Need for Speed Underground. The 2004 Impreza WRX STI features a 2.5-liter turbocharged flat-4 engine producing 300 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque, equipped with Subaru's advanced all-wheel drive system featuring a driver-controlled center differential. It has a rally-inspired large rear wing, aggressive front fascia, and functional hood scoop. The 2004 STI is commonly referred to as Blob Eye by car enthusiasts. It appears in Need for Speed Underground 2, Underground Rivals, Most Wanted 510, and Carbon on the City.
Tall second gear, taller than I'd like. Slippery here. Gonna brake a lot sooner in this one. Down around this. We got this. Definitely match the revs if you shift into first. And any car, but especially a Subaru like this, a little bit of air. All right. Breathe deep, good lines, and up around this guy. Real late apex on this one, a little too much steering angle, but we're okay.
The 2006 Impreza WRX STI GDB-F was powered by the 2.5-liter EJ257. It had Brembo brakes as standard, featuring large ventilated discs and 4-piston calipers in the front and 2-piston calipers in the rear. It was produced from 2006 to 2008. It received a new front fascia, which is often called Pig Nose or the Hawkeye model by car enthusiasts. It appears in Need for Speed Carbon, Carbon on the City, Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, Nitro, World, Shift 2 Unleashed, Heat, and Unbound. The 2008 Impreza WRX STI GRFB was built on a new platform featuring a 5-door hatchback body style. It retained a 2.5-liter EJ257 thanks to a larger intercooler, higher turbo boost of 14.9 psi, and a new active valve control system. It produced 305 horsepower. It featured an upgraded suspension system with inverted struts and a wider track, a larger rear spoiler, front and rear diffusers, and side skirts. It appears in Need for Speed World, Hot Pursuit, The Run, Edge, and Hot Pursuit Remastered. 2010 Impreza WRX STI GRFD featured a revised suspension setup including stiffer springs, larger anti-roll bars, and improved dampers. It appears in Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, and Unbound. The 2013 Impreza WRX STI GVFE brought back the saloon body. It had an improved suspension, higher width springs, thicker front and rear stabilizer bars, standard 18-inch aluminum wheels, wider rear fenders, and the iconic large rear spoiler. It appears in Need for Speed No Limits. The Subaru Leone was produced from 1971 to 94, making it one of Subaru's longest-running models. It was offered in various body styles including sedan, coupe, station wagon, and hatchback, catering to a wide range of customers. The Leone appears in a Need for Speed as a traffic car. The Toyota Celica GTS, notable in its 7th generation from 1999 to 2006, was exclusive to the North American market. It was powered by a 1.8-liter 2ZZGE engine developed in collaboration with Yamaha, producing 180 horsepower, with a red line of 8200 RPM. The Celica GTS appears in Need for Speed Underground 1, Underground 2, and Underground Rivals. The Toyota Corolla GTS AE86, produced from 1983 to 87, also referred to as Hachiroku or 86 in Japanese, is a legendary car in the drifting community. The Hachiroku was powered by a 1.6-liter 4AGE engine, producing 112 horsepower and 97 pound-feet of torque. The AE86 gained widespread fame through its prominent role in the manga and anime series Initial D, driven by the main character Takumi Fujiwara. The AE86 was sold in Japan as the Toyota Sprinter Trino GT Apex. The Corolla GTS appears in Need for Speed Underground 2, Carbon, Pro Street, Nitro, Shift, World, The Run, Shift 2 Unleashed, and Edge. The 2014 Toyota GT86, also known as the Toyota 86 or Subaru BRZ or Scion FRS in North America, was developed in collaboration with Subaru. It is powered by a 2-liter flat-4 boxer engine producing 200 horsepower. This engine layout provides a low center of gravity, enhancing handling and stability. It appears in Need for Speed 2015 and No Limits.
まもなく走行中
Introduced in 1951, the Land Cruiser is Toyota's longest running model. It was sold in over 170 countries, making it one of Toyota's most globally recognized and popular models. It appears as a traffic vehicle in Need for Speed 2, 3, and High Stakes. The Toyota MR2 midship runabout two-seater features a mid-engine layout providing a near-perfect weight distribution. The first MR2 generation, 1984 to 89, was known for its sharp handling. The second generation MR2, from 1990 to 99, for its increased power and refinement. And the third generation MR2, from 2000 to 2007, for its lightweight roadster design. It appears in Need for Speed Carbon and Carbon Own the City.
But going well. Anyway, it's an open class at the moment, the GCG open class. And they're becoming... Whoa! Oh, get a ticket to the drifting tonight, son.
Lenny Slender and...
The Toyota Sprinter Tuino GT Apex Zenki AE86 was equipped with the 1.6-liter 4AGE-U twin-cam engine produced for the Japanese domestic market from 1983 to 1987. Trueno is the Spanish word for thunder. The AE86 name is derived from Toyota's internal development code, A for the A4 series engine, E for Corolla, 8 for the E80 generation, and 6 for the 6th variant within the generation. In Initial D, Takumi Fujiwara has various modifications equipped to his Trueno, including a set of RS Watanabe R-type wheels, CB T53 fog lights, an Eitel Volanti Admiral steering wheel, and an aftermarket cup holder. The Trueno AE86 appears in Need for Speed Mobile as part of a promotional collaboration with the Initial D street racing manga. It appears in Need for Speed 2015 and No Limits. The 1994 Toyota Supra Turbo marked the debut of the 4th generation Supra A80 in the United States of America. It was equipped with the 3-liter 2JZ GTE twin turbocharged engine, producing 320 horsepower and offered a Targa top option. The 94 Supra Turbo appears in the Need for Speed. The 1996 Toyota Supra featured the iconic 2JZ GTE 3-liter inline-6 twin-turbocharged engine that produced 276 horsepower and 318 pound-feet of torque. The car's sleek design contributed to a low drag coefficient of 0.32. The Supra is known for its timeless styling like the long hood and muscular fenders with a removable targa top, often referred to as the Aero top. The Supra appears in Motor City Online. The 1997 Toyota Supra SZR was manufactured for the Japanese domestic market, powered by the naturally aspirated 2JZ GE engine, producing around 220 horsepower. As part of the SZR trim, it is fitted with an anti-lock braking system for all four wheels, with 17-inch calipers and a linear G-sensor ABS system. The 97 Supra appears in Need for Speed 2015. The 1998 Toyota Supra Turbo marked the final year of production for the 4th Gen Supra in most markets. Only a few hundred units were sold in the United States, making it one of the rarest and most collectible Supras. It was known for its exceptional handling, with a 0 to 60 mph time of around 4.6 seconds and a top speed of approximately 155 mph. The 98 Supra Turbo appears in Need for Speed Underground Rivals, Most Wanted, Carbon, and Carbon Own the City. The 1998 Toyota Supra Turbo Targa featured a removable roof panel which added to its unique and sporty look, making it stand out among other sports cars of its era. The Supra Turbo Targa was powered by the same 2JZ GTE engine. The 98 Supra Targa appears in Need for Speed Pro Street, Undercover, Shift, Shift to Unleashed, and The Run. The 1998 Toyota Supra marked the final year of production for the 4th Gen Supra A80. The US version produced 320 horsepower and had a limited production numbers, where fewer than 1500 units were sold in America. This scarcity has made it a highly collectible and valuable model in the used car market. The 98 Supra appears in Need for Speed Underground 1 and Underground 2. The 2002 Toyota Supra RZS was a mid-range trim level in the Japanese domestic market. It was equipped with the same 2JZ GTE twin-turbocharged engine, producing 276 horsepower due to the gentleman's agreement in Japan. The 2002 Supra appears in Need for Speed No Limits.